Today, we're diving into something that's, well, it's basically a superpower in today's world. We're talking about deep work. And it might just be the secret to really making your mark when everything and everyone is trying to grab your attention.
Okay, let me ask you something. Does this sound familiar? You're busy all day, right? I mean, your calendar is just jammed, your inbox is a disaster. But then, at the end of the day, you kind of sit back and think, wait, what did I actually do today? What did I create? If that's you, trust me, you are not alone.
So, there's actually a name for this feeling, this kind of modern problem. It's called shallow work. You know what this is? It's all that busy work that just eats up our time. Answering emails, jumping on another status meeting, shuffling your calendar around. It makes you feel busy for sure, but it's not the stuff that really uses your brain or creates anything new and valuable.
And get this, the scale of this problem, it's absolutely huge. A study from McKinsey looked into it, and what they found is kind of shocking. The average person, a knowledge worker, spends 60% of their week on stuff like email and just searching the web. A huge chunk of that is just dealing with the inbox. I mean, think about that. That's most of our work life spent just reacting, with our attention splintered into a million pieces.
All right, so if all that shallow work is like the kryptonite to getting things done, what's the solution? Well, let's talk about the antidote. And yeah, it really is like a superpower for the 21st century. This whole concept was really brought to life by Newport, who's an author and a computer science professor. And his big argument is pretty simple but powerful. In the crazy, distracted world we live in, the one skill that's becoming super valuable and also super rare is the ability to just focus, to concentrate without distraction on something that's actually hard. And that's what he calls it, deep work. You know that feeling, right? That state of flow where you're just completely locked in, pushing your brain to its limits, and the rest of the world just fades away. That's where the magic happens. It's where you learn new skills, you crack those tough problems, and you create work that nobody else can. So when you put them side by side, the difference is just night and day. Deep work, that's about creating serious value, stretching your abilities. Shallow work, it's low value, and honestly, anyone could do it. Think of it like this. Are you the architect designing the incredible building? Or are you just a human router forwarding messages from one person to another? And hey, this isn't some brand new idea or trendy productivity hack. The greatest thinkers throughout history, they got this. They knew it instinctively. You have Carl Jung, who literally built a stone tower to get away from it all. Or Mark Twain, who wrote in a little shed so far from his house that his family had to blow a horn to let him know dinner was ready. They didn't just hope for focus. They engineered their lives to create it. Okay, so it feels good to be productive, we get that. But why is this so incredibly important right now? Well, let's talk money. Let's look at the hard economics of it. This really is the big question, isn't it? For anyone who wants to do more than just get by, for anyone who wants to actually thrive in their career, how do you make yourself indispensable? So Newport says it really boils down to two things. First, you need to be able to learn complicated stuff fast. And second, you have to be able to produce work at an elite level. We're talking top-tier quality, and you got to do it quickly. And what's the one thing that underpins both of those? You guessed it, deep work. Let me tell you a story that just nails this point. It's about a guy named Jason Ben. He was a financial consultant, and he was completely stuck in that shallow work trap. I mean, he even admitted that on some days, he spent almost his entire workday, like 98% of it, just surfing the web. And his paycheck? It pretty much reflected the value of that kind of work. He was making around $40,000 a year. And then he had this terrifying realization. His main job could probably be done by a simple Excel macro. Now that is a wake-up call. So what did he do? Something pretty drastic. He quit. And he decided to completely retrain his brain. He literally locked himself in a room, no computer, with just textbooks and flashcards, and forced himself to learn how to code. Talk about going all in on deep work. So, did it pay off? Oh yeah. His very next job as a developer paid him over $100,000 a year. He more than doubled his salary. I mean, his story is just the perfect example of the real, tangible cash value of being able to focus and learn something hard. But this brings up a really weird question, right? A paradox. If this deep work thing is so valuable, so powerful, why is it so rare? Why aren't companies and bosses shouting about it from the rooftops? Well, it's because our whole work culture seems designed to kill focus. Think about it. Open offices? One study called them zones of massive distraction. The constant pings from Slack and Teams, they shatter our concentration. And on top of all that, there's this pressure to always be on, always be visible on social media. And there's a psychological reason for this. Newport calls it the principle of least resistance. It's pretty simple. When it's not super clear what real productivity looks like, we just do the easiest thing, the most visible thing. Firing off a quick email, for example. It doesn't accomplish much, but hey, it looks like you're working. It feels like you're doing something. Okay, so that's the what and the why. We get the theory. But what does this actually look like in real life? How does someone build their whole life around this idea? Let's check out a really cool practical example. So this is the daily routine for Dr. Vonda Wright. She's an orthopedic surgeon, an expert on longevity, and just look at this schedule. It's so intentional. Her day starts at 5 a.m. with a quiet hour, just for thinking and planning. Her work is chunked into these intense blocks, and she has hard stops. This isn't a life that just happens. This is a life that's been designed on purpose. And this level of discipline isn't just in her head. She has this awesome framework for her fitness routine called FACE. And honestly, it's a perfect metaphor for deep work. It's all about structure, consistency, and focused effort to build strength. You can't just wander into a gym and get strong by accident, right? And it's the exact same for your brain. So look, we've talked about money and promotions, and that's all great. But the real point here, the big takeaway, is that this goes way beyond your job. It's about something much, much bigger. It's really about building a life that feels meaningful, a life with purpose. There's a great quote from Newport that just says it all. A deep life is a good life. Think about it. A day where you were truly focused, where you created something you're proud of. Isn't that just infinitely more satisfying than a day where you were just busy and distracted? It connects what you do with what matters. So we're going to wrap this up, not with an answer, but with a question for you. A real question to think about. In this world that is constantly, desperately trying to pull you into the shallow end, what are you going to build with your focus? What masterpiece, what project, what life will you create with your depth?